This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and today we're here for something very special, and that is launching Season 2 of the iRacing Combined Indycar Series. And there are a few things that are going to be different from last season that are going to be different moving forward for this season. The first is, last season, I didn't even get to cover the series very well. I was quite overwhelmed dealing with the car, dealing with the new setup options. It took me the entire season just to come to terms with the handling of the car and the setup and driving with that level of competition, and it made it really hard to simultaneously really cover it adequately. I did do well, but I didn't do as well as I had hoped for, or as well as I'm going to try to do this next season coming forward. You probably saw my recent pit tip about a logbook. You can see that I'm taking it more seriously. You've seen my piece on the DeRose method and the mental aspects of the game that I've been focusing on. That's part of me trying to be better for next season moving forward. And this season coming, there are a couple twists that are going to make it different and give me even more focus and an incentive. The first of which is, I'm sure you know Andreas from Project Sim Racer. He's here with me today, and the reason is he's stepping up this season. He's been making that ladder approach in iRacing, starting off at the bottom, working his way through the Skippy, working with the Star Mazda. I'm not sure if he worked all of his way through the Star Mazda, and now up into the IndyCar series running with us, which again, lights a fire under my butt. I got Andreas not only going for that championship title, but gunning for me as well. So, welcome to the show today, Andreas.
Thank you, Shaun.
How are you today?
I'm very good. Very excited about this.
Yeah, I'm, as you can tell, very excited. So, welcome to the show and IndyCar. Let's just really briefly, how tough was it transitioning from the Skippy up to the Mazda? I mean, generally speaking, was it a tough transition?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't think it was that tough of a transition because the Star Master is actually not a hard car to drive. But the moment you start to drive fast, that's where the issues come. It's been tough going from the Skippy, where I won pretty much everything, to the Star Master, where I got into a series and a league that brought me way more competition. And the seasons haven't been going as well as I would have liked, but I've learned a lot still, and I think I'm ready for the next step.
All right, so you mentioned the next step, the IndyCar, or at least in our progression here.
Yeah.
You've driven the IndyCar. Just quick assessment. How do you feel the difference from the Star Mazda up to the IndyCar in terms of handling? First of all, the handling of the car.
The Star Mazda feels so light and nimble compared to this car. It feels like it takes a while to get this car to react, at least an initial turn in, and then the power on exit was a bit overwhelming to begin with. So I need to work on my throttle modulation a bit. But I think it'll be good.
Okay.
It might take a couple of weeks to get really competitive. But,
so now this is a combined series, just like last season. You've got 6 road, 6 oval. How do you feel about doing oval racing?
Well, oval racing is what got me into motorsports, but I haven't run an oval race for so long. So it's going to be a challenge to first get my license up there and then start actually running some competitive times as well. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it definitely will be fun. So that is one of the reasons I'm extremely excited about this season moving forward. So in this series already, John Hill of the show is going to be running. He ran with me last season. He's a very strong competitor, and he and I worked as teammates on our setup and even on our driving and everything, and a lot of hosted sessions. This season, I've got Andreas. You've got your teammate, Tom, who's going to be joining us as well. That puts 4 of us into this series, and that almost gives us a race right there, or at least half of the field. So one thing we do have, and I mentioned several reasons to kick it up for this season, we're going to go ahead and sponsor a series. It's going to be a series within the series. we're going to have a section at the Simpit that is going to be devoted to the Simpit IndyCar series. We're going to use iRacing. It's going to be during iRacing hosted sessions. It'll be no different than any other session, but there'll be the specific races that you're going to have Andreas, me, John Hill, Tom, and quite a few other names from last season who are going to be in this as well. We're going to go ahead and keep a separate set of points at the Simpit for those specific races. We're going to go ahead and give some prizes out for first, second, and third place. And we're going to make a random good attendance driver eligibility for a random prize as well. So in addition to that, make it more fun, because prizes, that's great. But the really cool thing is Andreas is going to be doing some streaming of his races live. I'm going to do a race broadcast recap, not of the broadcast, but a race recap from each of these specific races, focusing on how the entire race played out. And then we're going to encourage as many other people to stream like Andreas for this piece as well. And we'll keep adding that to each race week at the Simpit site. So we'll have a really cool website there, or a section of the website with standings, all the details, so that if you want to participate, it'll show you the racing times. It even might give you the approximate race schedule for the 4 of our members, what time we like to be on the track practicing. So if you want to hit us up for help or setup, we're always there to help. So you're obviously down for this. You're going to be streaming live. Does that add any additional pressure?
Maybe, but once you get up in the high ranks, you gotta get used to that anyway. So have people watching you constantly. That would be great. I think it's very cool that you can run both for official points and for our championship. That would be a great thing. Yeah.
Exactly, and that is exactly. I'm so glad you said that, because we're, again, using the hosted time slot from iRacing.
Yeah, the official sessions.
We're shooting for about Saturday noon my time, Pacific Coast Standard Time, for the road, and I think the oval is either an hour before or later. But we'll have the specific details on the details page at the Simpit. But yeah, it means that you still get regular iRacing points. Your safety rating is still on the line. And it also shows that that's not the only race I'm going to do of the week. I mean, I'm still looking at the iRacing IndyCar Championship. I think over time this will become a very high-paying, points-paying race, making it worthwhile to be there for that reason, as well as the prizes and the fun and all the additional broadcast and additional coverage of this event we'll have going on. So
exactly.
Anyway, Andreas, I'm looking forward to racing against you.
I'm really looking forward to keeping you on track.
Yeah, I was going to say in the friendliest way, but we've been on track. We don't always treat it friendly, or at least, I don't know, there's no rules amongst us. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this season. We will do more and more coverage of this season. I have a lot more grip on the car. I have a lot more people involved with my team, which will lighten the load as far as setup and that kind of stuff. You know, I've got my logbook. Maybe I'll share some of my notes each race. We'll see how that goes throughout the season. So, Andreas, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this show. The season starts today, and it's a 12-week season. I'll post the schedule. Everything will be at the website, and you'll get some insight as to what's going on behind the scenes with the Simpit crew. So thanks again, Andreas.
Perfect.
I wish you luck.
Good luck as well.
This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and we will see you on the track.